Welcome to GripeCast with your host, Alex Hernandez. This show is dedicated to consumer technology news and pop culture. GripeCast is owned by Techaeris. Visit Techaeris.com for the latest tech reviews, news, entertainment, and pop culture. Now sit tight, the show's about to begin. All right, welcome to the least listened to podcast on the internet. This is GripeCast episode 13, and I am back from vacation, and my background is back to normal. No more little freaky plant in the background, and no more beach house. So, good to be back in my chair, good to be back with my equipment, great to be back with my microphone. I brought a microphone with me on vacation to do some recording, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So I ended up using the MacBook Pro's built-in mic, which worked fine, but this Tempest is much better. It's 512 from 512 Audio, that is. So yeah, we're back. This is episode 13. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. We are going to cover some things today. A lot of things have been exploding this past week and this past weekend. We're going to touch on ChatGPT and OpenAI, and we're going to touch on Microsoft, a little bit of Google, and we're just going to talk about the stuff that's happening right now. Let's jump right into OpenAI. So I'm cutting right to the chase this time. No 5-minute intros. OpenAI is going head to head with Scarlett Johansson. Yes, indeed. So. If you're not familiar with the story, according to sources and according to Scarlett Johansson herself, OpenAI approached her in hopes to use her voice as the voice for ChatGPT, but she refused and she declined. Let's put it that way. It's probably a better word to use. She declined OpenAI's offer. And Sam Altman went ahead and used her voice anyway. I don't know that it's an exact match for match voice clone, or I mean her actual voice, but they cloned her voice. Let's just put it that way. They're using her voice for ChatGPT, and it's a clone of her voice. It sounds very similar to her. So let's open this up here. Let's here on Culture Crave. On X, he says, Scarlett Johansson released a statement on OpenAI copying her voice for ChatGPT. Sam Altman tried to hire her for the voice last September, and she said no. Was shocked and angered. They used a voice so similar to hers and had to hire lawyers, which led to the voice being changed. So Scarlett Johansson released a statement, and I'm going to read it, concerning this situation. It reads, last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt that my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said he felt that my voice would be comforting to people. And I'm going to stop right there because that right there, it speaks volumes as to what the intentions of these tech bros and these, especially the AI bros, what their intentions are. For the most part, the majority. I mean, I think a lot of people are right now are very uncomfortable with where AI is going. Even the normies, I think, are freaking out a little bit about what's happening with AI. And we'll get more into that with Microsoft in a minute. But so what this speaks to me is that Altman and OpenAI are using a tried and true method, which is bringing something familiar and making people more comfortable with something that they're uncomfortable with. So putting a voice in that might kind of mitigate the fear of using an AI system it's a tactic that it works. People respond to this type of thing. So they approached Scarlett to do this, and that makes sense that they would want that. They want someone, or they want a voice that's going to be comforting and more relatable. So, anyway, getting back to the statement from Scarlett says, after much consideration and for personal reasons, I declined the offer. 9 months later, my friends, family, and the general public all noted how much the newest system named Sky, quote, sounded like me. When I heard the release demo, I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that Mr. Altman would pursue a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference. Mr. Altman even insinuated that the similarity was intentional, tweeting a single word, quote, her, a reference to the film in which I voiced a chat system, Samantha, who forms an intimate relationship with a human. 2 days before the ChatGPT 4.0 demo was released, Mr. Altman contacted my agent, asking me to reconsider. Before we could connect, the system was out there. As a result, and I got to look around my camera so I can read this. As a result of their actions, I was forced to hire a legal counsel who wrote 2 letters to Mr. Altman and OpenAI, setting out what they had done and asking them to detail the exact process by which they created the Sky voice. Consequently, OpenAI reluctantly agreed to take down the Sky voice. In a time when we are all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likenesses, our own work, our own identities, I believe these are questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to resolution in the form of transparency and the passage of appropriate legislation to help ensure that individual rights are protected. Boom. So there you go. Sam Altman, you're a jerk. OpenAI, shame on you. But these AI bros think they can do what they want when they want, and they can trample on. And this is Google and now Microsoft, which we'll get into. They're all doing this. The AI space is the Wild West right now. It is literally at least for the tech community, for the tech companies, it's do what you want. There are no consequences. So that includes Google stealing website data from hundreds of thousands of websites and reusing it for their AI results, their SGE results. And it's Microsoft now with their new Copilot Plus. And again, we're going to get into that. But, props to Scarlett Johansson for doing this. We need these big voices. I'm not much for celebrities. I'm not a celebrity worshiper. But she's got points, and that her voice is her property, and it's her identity. And when someone steals it, and despite being told that they didn't want to work with you, and you do it anyway, that's crazy. That's disrespectful, crazy, and should be illegal. And OpenAI and Sam Altman, to me, they're creeps. It's a creep move. Sorry, I hate to imply this, but my podcast is clean, so I am not going to say anything inappropriate. But I feel like Sam Altman may have a more of an interest in Scarlett Johansson beyond her voice. Let's just put it that way. And that's creepy. So props to her for standing up for herself. And I think in this case, it's going to bleed over to the rest of the creative community. I think hopefully it will bleed over to the rest of the creative community where we can get some sort of defense system against content theft from big tech. So, I just wanted to jump out the gates today with that Scarlett Johansson story. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see what happens. As far as I know, they've taken that voice down. I don't know where the lawyer thing is going, if Scarlett Johansson is going to take it any further than this, but she should, I think. I know, well, I should say, I hope she does to help the rest of the community. All right, I'm moving on. Let's get on to Google and a recent interview. Okay, so if you've been listening to my podcast for since I've started this podcast, you know that I'm talking about Google. I started this, thank you, Google. Thank you for pissing me off so much that I started this podcast, and it's something new, but I'm loving it. I'm liking it, and I like the griping. Okay, I'm gonna gripe, and I'm griping about you again because you suck. And what you're doing, Sundar, and everyone else at Google, is you are doing exactly what OpenAI did to Scarlett. You're stealing creative content from publishers and other content creators on the web, and we have no recourse and we have no protection. But the minute you are offended or you are something is taken from you, you jump right on that copyright, right on that terms and conditions bandwagon. We have terms and conditions. But I'm going to play this interview. It's very short, but this is a recent interview, and I'll link it below. But this is a recent interview where Sundar Pichai sits down with Nilay Patel from The Verge, and this short clip talks about OpenAI, and we talked about this in the past. OpenAI using YouTube to train its ChatGPT, and Google was not happy with that, and they, of course, pointed to their terms and conditions. We have terms and conditions, so we're going to play this clip, and we'll listen in real quick. It's very short. So we'll first let me get this out here. I want to make sure we don't blast the sound too badly here. We'll see how we rock with this. Here we go. It's about 1 minute and 27 seconds, and this is Nilay Patel of The Verge speaking with Sundar Pichai, and the subject matter is terms and conditions, OpenAI, ChatGPT, and content creation. So here we go.
There's some news reports recently that OpenAI had trained its video generation product Sora on YouTube. Yeah. How did you feel when you heard that news?
Look, we don't know the details. I think, our YouTube team is following up and trying to understand. Look, we have terms and conditions, right? And we would expect people to abide by those terms and conditions, right? And so I think when you build a product, and so that's how I felt about it, right?
So you felt like they had broken your terms and conditions, or potentially, or if they had, that wouldn't have been appropriate.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
The reason I asked that question, which is a much more emotional question, is, okay, maybe that's not appropriate. And what OpenAI has said, whatever they've said, is essentially in the order of, we've trained on publicly available information, which means we found it on the web. Most people don't get to make that deal, right? They don't have a YouTube team of licensing professionals who can say, we had terms and conditions. They don't even have terms and conditions. They're just putting their stuff on the internet. Do you understand why emotionally there's the reaction to AI from the creative community, that it feels the same way as you might have felt about OpenAI training on YouTube?
Absolutely. Look, I think, be it website owners or content creators or artists, I can understand how emotional a transformation this is.
He can understand how emotional a transformation this is. He's not saying, we're sorry to be taking your content. We're sorry to be doing what we're doing. No, he's saying, I feel for you because we're taking your stuff. I know it's an emotional time, and the transition, it'll pass. You'll feel better after a bit, and it'll be all swept under the rug, and it'll be okay. And he's patting you on the back is what he's doing. He's full of crap. Sundar, you're full of crap. You're stealing. Let's just put it out there. You notice how it took him a couple seconds to formulate an answer to that question. So, what does Nilay ask? Let's rewind this here real quick. All right, he says, okay, I'm going to mute this so I can read the... All right, here he says, that's right, okay, let's say is, the reason I asked that question, which is a much more emotional question, is okay, maybe that's not appropriate. And what OpenAI has said, whatever they said is essentially on the order of we train on publicly available information, which means we found it on the web. Most people don't get to make that deal, right? You don't have a YouTube team of licensed professionals who can say we have terms and conditions. They don't have terms and conditions. They just put their stuff on the internet. Do you understand why emotionally there's this reaction to AI from the creative community? That it feels the same way as you might have felt about OpenAI training on YouTube. Oh my gosh, that was a perfect question, and he dodged it. He dodged the question. He's full of crap. And, again, I posted on X, these AI bros are going to do whatever they want right now. And they are doing whatever they want because there's no recourse for them. There's no penalties. They're just going to start stripping the web. And they're doing it quickly. And they're doing it because they know that there may come a time when they are regulated or something happens to the point where they can't do that anymore. And so they are going to take as much as they can, as quick as they can. So there you go. More bull crap from Google, direct from Sundar's mouth. More of it. So this, if you've been following me for the past few months, you know how frustrated I've been with Google, and this frustration is ongoing. So, here we are. I just wanted to talk about that part because I think it's a conversation we should continue to have. We can't sweep this under the rug. We can't pretend it's not happening. And Google needs to, I don't know, they need to, saying being held accountable is, it's kind of cliche, and that's not the term I'm looking for. But I think that Google needs to be fair, and I think that their methods right now and the way they've gone about this has been unfair to content creators. And they're doing it because they're afraid they're going to lose the AI race. It's a race between Microsoft, Google, Apple, and OpenAI, right? They're all rushing to get this out. They're rushing to do this and get their foot in the door and be the first. And they're going to trample over everyone they can. It doesn't matter. And, that's it. So, anyway, there you have it. I'll link down below to this video. It came from NIK on X, and I'll also link to the Scarlett Johansson press release posted by Crave on X, and you guys can go through those comment sections. All right, let's move on. Gonna make this a quick return, episode 13. Really moving fast today. Let's go into Microsoft. So Microsoft has announced a Microsoft Copilot Plus AI. Okay, so AI is dominating right now the news waves. If you jump on my site, Techaeris, you will see we have 4 companies already announced new next-gen AI PCs, right? So we have Samsung, we have Dell, Lenovo, and Acer, all, and I'm sure Asus and other ones have announced. We didn't write those up, but these companies have new next-gen AI PCs, which are going to run Copilot Plus, which we all need. They say we need. I'm saying this sarcastically. To better enhance our lives, because you need AI. You need to take a break in your life. You need to have AI there to help you through every portion of your life. Great, right? Fine. But there's a new feature in Copilot Plus that's on by default, I believe. I'll have to look into it a bit more, but you can disable it. I'll give them that. At least they say you can disable it. A post on X says, Satya Nadella says Windows PCs will have a photographic memory feature called Recall that will remember and understand everything you do on your computer by taking constant screenshots. So Copilot Plus will now have this feature called Recall, where it's using your camera and constantly taking screenshots. So it knows your habits and learns what you do on a daily basis. If that's not creepy, guys, Is it possible that they're doing this already? Oh, it's very possible. I mean, you hear the stories all the time about these things that come out as far as the cameras being used. And I know a lot of people that do put, sticky Post-its or something over their cameras. And a lot of manufacturers, to their credit, have put a camera shutter on their laptops. So that's a good thing. But now we're talking even deeper privacy issues, I think, with this new Microsoft Copilot Plus feature. Let's listen to Satya Nadella talk about it here on this post on X, and then I'll talk a little more about it.
How do we introduce memory, right? Photographic memory into what you do on the PC. And now we have it. So it's called recall. It's not keyword search, right? It's semantic search over all your history. And it's not just about any document. We can recreate moments from the past, essentially.
Here's how it works. Windows constantly takes screenshots of what's on your screen, then uses a generative AI model right on the device, along with the NPU, to process all that data and make it searchable, even photos. I got to try it out. I searched brown leather bag. It came up in visual search. There's no place on this page that it says brown leather bag. It just knows because it sees this brown leather bag. There could be this reaction from some people that this is pretty creepy. Microsoft is taking screenshots of everything I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's why that it can only do it on the edge, right? So this is like, you have to put two things together. This is my computer, this is my recall, and it's all being done locally.
All right, there you go. Satya Nadella telling us, hey, we are going to be taking screenshots of you to improve your search and learn from you. Now, they're saying it's only a feature that's on Edge. I'm assuming that's Microsoft Edge, the browser. So you can use, a Brave or Firefox or another browser, and technically you're supposed to be okay. But are we truly? I mean, at this point, I'm really struggling to believe the tech companies. I used to want to believe that we were not being, that they were offering us good hardware, good software, and a good service, and being responsible with it. But at this point, I'm losing faith. I'm losing faith in everybody. Google is down the drain. I wanted to start believing that Microsoft was doing the right thing, but with this latest Microsoft event and the announcement of Copilot Plus, and especially Recall, I don't believe that they're heading in the right direction either. So Apple is soon to be in bed with OpenAI, at least that's the rumor. Are we going to have OpenAI as the voice assistant on iPhone and all Mac products now coming soon? Well, given the problems that OpenAI is facing right now, especially with this whole Scarlett Johansson thing, I think Apple needs to back out of that. The world of tech companies is 2024 is challenging. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with all of this AI. The AI bros they're pushing it, and I see a lot of posts on social media where there's a lot of support for AI, and all this AI stuff is, people are pushing for it. They want it, but those of us who don't want it, we need to push back. We need to make it known that we have a line, and the line needs to not be crossed. This stuff is beyond frustrating and beyond scary. I'm really not enjoying 2024 when it comes to tech. I mean, this has been I think this has been the crazy. I've been doing this, for what? I have had this site for going on 11 years now, and I've been in this 13 years or so, writing about tech and covering it. and this is by far the most. I'm struggling to find a term for it. I'm not enjoying 2024 when it comes to tech. I gotta say, I'm not enjoying AI, which seems to be infiltrating everything. So, I mean, I don't know. You guys need to tell me what you think. Comment below on the platform that you're using. Comment on X, on MeWe. Comment on YouTube and Rumble. And just, share this podcast. We got to get the conversation out there. Look what's happening. Look what's happening with Google, with Microsoft, with Apple, with OpenAI, and what's the future, and how can we mold that future? The only way to make change is for us to speak out. If we don't speak out, and if we don't resist, if we don't say no, we don't want this, they're just going to push it. And sometimes I fear that that may not be enough. I fear that we're too late to battle that it's just going to happen. So anyway, that is it, guys. I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging in with me these past couple weeks while I was on vacation. Appreciate you guys listening to the podcasts that I recorded on vacation. And it's good to be back. Good to be back in my office. Good to be back at my desk. Have my background. Have my beautiful monitor that I use, and all my equipment. I appreciate you guys highly. Please like, subscribe, follow me on whatever platform you're listening to. And the most important thing, and I've been trying to push this message for the past couple of weeks, is quit using Google. Quit using Google search. Stop using Google as a verb. Change the way you speak, the way you think, and we can really put some pressure on Google as far as search goes. Let's change our mindset as to how we search and use the web, and stop using Google services. Just, it really takes effort. I understand that, and it takes time and effort, and sometimes you're so invested into an ecosystem that you don't want to take that extra. I mean, it can be exhausting, time consuming. I get it, but if we continue to just lay still and we don't resist, these changes are coming, and they're going to eventually you guys who aren't caring so much right now, eventually you will, when it comes to your doorstep and they're doing something you don't find so nice, or you might find creepy. So quit using Google, switch your search engines, and let's try to make changes. Curate your own news feed, bookmark independent websites, or any website that you enjoy. Bookmark it. Create your own news feed without needing search. I mean, you'll need search. You'll need to search things. I understand that, but for the things that for tech news, for political news, whatever news that you trust, don't do a Google search. Don't do a web search at all. Find the websites that you like to read and keep them at hand so that you can reference them when you need to reference them, and not have to go through search to find them. And support independent websites. Support Techaeris. I really appreciate all support everybody's ever given me, and we'll continue doing our best. We're working hard, trying to rebuild after Google's torn us down, and we're getting there. I think that by God's grace, we are going to move on, and it's going to work. And with your help, we're gonna get there as well. So hey, you guys have a fabulous day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm going to try to get another podcast out on Friday. We'll see how that works. But for right now, this is episode 13 of GripeCast. You guys be blessed. Take care of each other. Be kind. And we will talk to you on the other side.